Well, it seems Google has a rather embarrassing, large internal problem that it is too embarrassed to talk about. So I'm going to talk about it for you now. Good evening, ladies, gents and Pikachus. I wanted to talk to you about Google. What the fuck has happened to Google? Why is it so useless these days and evil when it never used to be? It used to be lovely. Not just Google, there's plenty of companies that are just like Google who were previously good and now are a bunch of shit, sitting in the trash collecting flies and bad smells. So why has this happened? Well, I think I know. I think I recognise why this has happened, and I will tell you. Imagine that these companies are like a big dog. You know, a big friendly dog, you can give them a pat on the head. You love dogs love you. But if that dog were to contract internal parasites, the dog would be upset. The dog would be much more easy to upset, much more difficult to get along with. And I think that's what's happened to Google. It's like the brand of Google was good. There's value in Google. Google does loads of good stuff. But there's parasites in there now. These communist spies that are working at Google, like the people who are working at Google Ads, who have made it impossible for me to communicate with Google, and they have robbed me of my money and not rendered the service I paid for and put on the account that I haven't paid, even though I paid it twice. Now, it's easy for me to go, fucking Google, but I don't think that's Google doing that. Google want my money. They want me to use the service that they have provided. They want that service rendered to me, and they've spent loads of time and money making that service good. But no, I can't have it because of these internal parasites, ruining it for everybody, especially me. I've come to this conclusion since speaking to my bank and my credit card company, who have actually said they're probably going to pay this money back to me now. Because they can investigate these things and they will get a response from Google, whereas I won't. And you can think about it for yourself. There's probably loads of times where you've been ripped off by a company, scammed by a company, or a service stops working. Like my lights are not working at the moment. My smart home app developer was bought by a Chinese company, and what do you know, 2 days later I have no lights, I have no smart home. So I'm going to have to deal with that. But it's just like with Google, it's just like with the companies you know that have pissed you off. They use all this technology and they have thousands of staff members, and everything works perfectly all the time. So it's almost always human error that makes these things fall apart. Like it has been with Google, it's human error there that made me, my communication with Google end. They can't contact me, although they think they can, and they can't hear my replies, although I think they can. Well, I know they can't now, because there's a parasite in the middle, someone who is there to rape the company of their value, to rob that brand of its good name, and at the same time attack me without being caught. See, that's what the parasite does. It's invisible. It's inside the body. It's inside Google, but Google is not aware, or they would pluck that parasite out and throw it out the window. You know, like in the Matrix when they get the bug out of Neo's stomach and throw it out the car window. That's what they would do. So I just watched a video about Sirius XM gyms, you know, fitness gym, and it's the same with them. That company was good, but now they've got 2 or 3 people in there who couldn't give a shit about the brand or the company or the customers. All they care about is themselves and getting their attacks off on their perceived enemies, so they're parasites. So in conclusion, ladies, gents and Pikachus, stick with your brands, your companies that you're using until you figure out they've got parasites, and then the thing to do is move, because unfortunately, as much as you like your brands, your companies that you're using, and the service that they're rendering to you is good, as soon as they've got those parasites, they're never ever going to get rid of those parasites. It's like the friendly dog. Don't go near it when it's got parasites, because a parasite will bite it just when you're giving it a pat on the head, and it will bite you, and you'll think, fucking dog, I hate this dog now, it's a vicious attack dog. It's not, but it is going to look like one, it's going to behave like one, and it cannot help this until those parasites are gone. So relate that, the parasite analogy, to our culture, to the politics of your country, even to the politicians you think you used to like. The parasite is the communism, it's the bribery, it's the lies, the propagandizing, the trickery and the backstabbing. And as soon as you see that, the second you see that, you want to move on for your own good, for your own safety and your own benefit. And that's the end of this video. Parasites are nasty things. You want to avoid them at all costs, even ones inside companies. and then you will do better. Your services will work. You will have lights, you will have smart home, you will have email, and you'll have access to YouTube without having your comments censored, your likes and views removed, and your Google ad account stealing hundreds of pounds from you, as I am experiencing. But I'm not going to blame these companies, or I'm not going to blame anyone until I find the individual, the parasite, who is responsible. And I would hope that you do the same. So this is going to be my last video before Christmas, so I hope you have a brilliant Christmas, and I will see you in the new year. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you in the next one. Bye now. I wish I thought of that earlier. That is the perfect description of your typical communist agitator or commie spy who's living inside these organisms or these brands. They're parasites, so avoid the parasites, enjoy yourself, and I'll see you next time. Bye now. Bye 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 bye.